Welcome to the Lean Lounge, a podcast brought to you by Lean Revisions. Please welcome your host, Jeff Gray.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Lean Lounge. My name's Jeff Gray, and I'm your host here on the Lean Lounge. Before we get started with my guest here, Deana Scott, I want to thank our sponsors, KPI Fire and Sigma XL. And any of you, if you'd like to be sponsors, give us a call at contact@leanrevisions.com. And today, I have a very special guest that I've known for quite a while now, Miss Deana Scott.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm awesome. Thanks for having me.
Definitely. Welcome. So what I like to do, Deana, is have you introduce yourself before we dive into a topic. And just tell everybody who you are, a little bit of background, and then we'll just chat about everything that comes up and have a little fluid conversation here. Okay. So tell us about who is Deana Scott?
Who is Deana Scott? Well, that depends on the day, actually. But where I spend most of my days are working in the casino and hospitality industry.
Nice.
Running a company called Raving. And under that umbrella, we have consulting. We have education and conferences.
Yes.
And then we have a magazine called Tribal Gaming and Hospitality Magazine.
Right.
And we work with clients mostly in the U.S. in the commercial and tribal space, but internationally as well.
Nice.
And so we have been around almost 27 years. I myself have owned the business with my husband for 7 years.
Good.
But working with the company almost since inception at different levels. So a long history before actually moved into that next phase of owning this business and then transitioning it to what it is today.
Nice. I didn't know you worked with them before you purchased it.
Right. I met them early in the inception of the company when they were just doing really consulting. And I was an operator in the gaming industry. Okay. And I was one of their first clients in the developing a service plan and developing a team service. And then just kept in contact and used them for services throughout the years.
Okay.
And then worked as a consultant for the company before had the opportunity to purchase it.
Okay. I didn't know that you worked around the world. That's a good way to understand what they're all about. Mm-hmm. And if they're a good company and a partner and have your values and your vision. Right. Is that kind of what helped you keep moving along, or did you even think about buying them back
No,
then?
In fact, it was very great that I had that experience with the company, right? So when the opportunity came up to purchase it, the owner wanted to retire. I was looking for someone to turn around the company or buy it, and it turned into my husband and I buying it.
Looking in the mirror.
It was a little of both.
Yeah.
And because, he was ready to go off and golf, and it was time to reimagine the business. Mm-hmm. And so my background and understanding kind of the services and maybe the value of the company because of how it had grown over the years, but there was a lot of opportunity because it maybe hadn't kept up with where the industry was going. Right. There was an opportunity on the business side.
That. Yeah.
And then knowing it from the consulting side, I kind of understood how to walk in those shoes. Right. Plus, I had known a lot of the team for a long time, so I was able to get a lot of backstory and information from them going into it. So it made purchasing, a known entity in an industry we had a lot of experience with opportunity to grow. It kind of checked all the boxes for my husband and I, who had really been looking for a business to buy. We've been together. Oh God, I should know this number.
You're supposed to know that number.
35 years, something like that. A whole long time.
A long time.
A very long time.
Long time.
And so we would always go, even early on when we were together,
Right.
my parents had a restaurant business, and Brady said, we should buy this, and I was like, no, I don't.
Don't
I
feel.
don't want that to
Yeah.
be my life.
Right.
I've worked in that. I know that
Yeah.
it's a hard business and hard to make money.
Right. Right.
And so we just did that throughout the years. And when I called him when this opportunity arose,
Right.
I said, "Are you interested? What do you think about this?" And he said, "Yes." And it was the first time we both said yes. And that was kind of our
Yep.
checkbox. If we
Right.
both say yes, then we'll
You feel
proceed.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
And so, it's more like 8 years later because I came on board with the company as the CEO and
Right.
then bought it. So I've been doing it now for about 8 years.
Nice.
And if you take out the 2 COVID years, I say
Oh,
6.
yeah.
5 or 6 because it really.
It was tough for everybody.
It was tough for everybody, and right, and turning around a company and just wondering, when all the casinos closed down,
Yes. Yeah.
how does a casino consulting company fare in that weather? So,
Right.
it's been fun, it's been challenging and rewarding, and it's still not done. It's
Not
still,
done yet. You've got a lot in you. Yeah.
Yeah, small business.
Yeah. So, wow, I have a lot of questions. So, one cool thing is working within the organization and seeing what the market needed. Mm-hmm. That's good insight to help you know where to take the business,
Right.
know what products and services that are needed because you're in there with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's really cool to help you check those boxes because a lot of people go in the business without checking all the boxes. It's a gut feel, or it's an I want, or somebody else did it, but it sounds like you did a lot of research. You really, had a plan, and it's working out well, and it's
Sure. We had that. You're right. Yes.
Well, you had a vision.
Yes, we had a vision.
That's good. At least you had a vision. Sometimes you don't know how to reach the vision until you, say, that's where we want to go.
Yeah.
And then we put the cobblestones
Yeah.
together.
No, I mean, definitely we had
Yeah.
a vision, and we understood where the opportunities were.
Right.
And I think that was the key, is that there was a lot of foundational stuff that needed to be
Right.
addressed and reimagined. I mean, because it's a solid brand. It has been. I mean, the
Right.
owner, created that brand. It just needed a little polishing and a little reworking for where the industry was going and trying to
Right.
remain relevant for the next 25 years. And that's been our focus.
Right.
And, trying things and retrying things, or saying no or yes based on opportunities.
Right.
And, never quitting and never stopping and thinking it's done, I think, is the
Then it's-
way it has to be.
Right. Right.
But when you have a small company too, that's taxing on the team. So how do you manage that growth so that you can still move forward and do
Right.
it?
Right. You said one thing there too, is that Raving Consulting is big in the industry. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows your brand, your product, your events that you have. And Mason and I have gone to some, and they're awesome. The networking, the information, the whole environment, and the parties.
Parties are fun. Ravers are fun.
Ravers are fun.
Yeah, we are in a fun industry.
I love that. We stay up till 2, and then we get back up at 7.
Yeah.
For days.
Or you should get up at 7, Jeff.
Yeah, I've been
Or
late a few
Mason.
times. Or before Mason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. So let's dive a little bit deeper into raving. You do training, leadership, and what are some of the other things you do? You do player development and
Yep.
what are
Any casino operations functions, from surveillance, security, slots, table games optimization, guest service,
Good.
player development. Leadership is a big one. It's foundational.
Yeah.
And really trying now to get people to understand the need for business optimization
Yes.
and why
Yeah.
that concept and idea is really foundationally
Yeah.
important for organizations.
Yes.
But there's in the industry, it's really hard to get people to see how that connects.
Yeah. It's an investment in your business and in your people. You know, a lot of us are thinking, oh, I'm going to have to spend X amount of dollars, but I'm not going to see it until a month or two or three or four down the line. But it's an investment in your longevity, in your structure, in your foundation, in your security, and in your flexibility. Like COVID, you know, some of the places that we've worked with during COVID, they stayed open and they made money. Others were closed down for days, weeks, you know, months. And they had to lay people off. You know, we've had some clients, they didn't lay anyone off, you know. So it's an investment in what you do and how you mitigate risk, empower your people. And that's the kind of message I think that, in the changing environment, like you say, when you bought your company, you saw there was a gap in maybe innovation or, the next level of curriculum or knowledge out there in the industry. And that's what makes you keep going forward, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're really focused on by operators for operators. So all of our partners have worked in the industry and they have an area of expertise.
Right.
So we create teams to come in and help
Very cool.
with problem solving, because some businesses, there's one principal and they
Right.
come in and give you advice everywhere.
Right.
Ours is based on data, so we always have a research component. We have a PhD researcher on our team.
Nice.
That we feel like if we're going to go in and make decisions, it has to be data-based. It can't be just what I
Right.
think, because I've been doing this for 30 years.
Right.
Who cares?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Thank you if you do care. But I always want to make sure if I'm providing that kind of advice that I am also looking at what's real. And that's part of what we do, is try to
Yeah.
make people be better leaders by how they make decisions. And that's about looking at the data, looking at what's already there,
Right.
and then trying to improve the process
Yep.
from that perspective. And I know you love this quote, it's the process, not the people.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
so I use that a lot.
Yeah, it is.
And it's applicable to any business.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And sometimes we're very quick to judge people
Mm-hmm.
and not look at ourselves and fix the process. And
Right.
even at Raving, we're always talking process
Yeah.
and process and process. And
That's how you operate.
it's, can be overwhelming, and there's so many options now and so much technology that it can be hard to land on something
Yeah.
and really just say, okay, now we're at a point where we just need to do the work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so always balancing that, I think, is important.
I think also measuring what you're trying to accomplish.
Absolutely.
You need to measure. So you're improving. You're doing the right things to get where you want to go. You might not get to hit the sweet spot and home run the first time.
Right.
But okay, you go to first base. Oh, what else can we do? Go to second base next time. So it's continuous improvement. You're not going to fix everything at once.
No.
And I like what you said too, is it's process. I was at a client yesterday, and the leader was out in the field. And when I got there yesterday, 8:30, my phone rang, and he says to me, "I want you to do this, because this person is not performing like I need them to." So I said, okay. First thing I did was we started mapping out the process. I talked to the person. I said, look, there were some things that happened yesterday and last week while we weren't here. Let's see what's going on. And we did a swim lane of the process. And I had to put times and changeovers and all this kind of stuff from different things the leader wanted him to do. And when the leader walked in the afternoon and we walked through the process, he was like, "I'm asking you to do all this in 8 hours?" And the guy's like, "Yes, boss. What do you want me to do first?" And the light bulb just went on by just mapping it out, visualizing it, and you can see what was the strategy, what is the requirements, the priorities, what am I, and throwing things at you throughout the middle of the day does not help you succeed. And so it really changed his idea of, he thought it was the person, but it was the process. And he was throwing things in the process throughout the day to interrupt the process.
Right.
And so people working 10-hour days, and that's what you need to look at when you're looking at their whole system and optimize. Yeah. So as a business owner, what are some nuggets of knowledge? I like to always say, we don't practice these things, folks. You should have seen her eyes if you didn't see them. She's like, what?
You can always see my eyes. It's my tell.
It is. Are you good at poker?
No.
No.
Terrible.
So, there's people, our audience are people in college, they're CEOs, they're GMs, they're business owners, they're running organizations, they work in healthcare. Some nuggets of knowledge about business challenges. How would you overcome? What do you do? What are your nuggets that say, hey, I hit a roadblock. What do I need to do to overcome this, assess it? What are my tools?
I would say mostly I look at them as opportunities.
Ah, nice.
And I just think, okay, we're here. Let's keep perspective. Because I think sometimes there's a tendency to blow things out of proportion, which,
very cool.
Your entire team is looking at you of how you're going to deal with that.
Yeah, that's true.
So I love a coaching culture in an organization and a collaborative culture.
Yeah.
So I think it is really sit down and examine what the roadblock is. First of all, is it real?
Yeah.
Is this something that's just a momentary
anomaly
issue?
or something?
Yeah. Or is this something we're seeing an ongoing challenge?
Right.
And so that before you start trying to fix it, that you've stopped and kept perspective. And then go, okay, together, can we do this?
Right.
And how do we want to proceed together? And sometimes when you're really busy or there's a lot of stuff coming out, it's easy just to go, oh, go do this, and this.
Right.
But that doesn't.
No.
It just creates more havoc across the organization,
See it
especially with a small team. So
yeah.
It's like trying to stop more. I think, and not blow it out of proportion.
You don't just squeeze the balloon, we call it, fix it here and move it over there.
Right.
Create more chaos.
Right.
Yeah, and if you don't measure it, you're just reacting. You're just creating more chaos.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, you get input from somebody and it's like, oh my gosh, this isn't working. And
right.
It's like, okay, it was one person.
Right.
Settle down. Is this real?
Settle down.
Yeah.
So straightforward. Settle down.
I know, right? Can't help it, Jeff. You know that.
I know. That was great. I love it. Well, awesome. Did you have fun?
I had fun. Did you have fun?
Yeah. I think our audience had fun too.
I hope so.
So why don't you one more time?
Okay.
Tell them the name of your company and how to get a hold of you, and your website, podcast, magazine.
All right. Deana Scott, reach out anytime. Website is betravingnose.com, and the magazine is Tribal Gaming and Hospitality Magazine, tgnh.com.
Awesome. And your next is
next conference coming up in January. All the information's on the website. In San Diego, and it's about strategic operations and leadership, and we will see you there too.
Yes, awesome. Yes, indeed. Sunny San Diego in the end of January. Perfect time to go.
Yeah.
Perfect time to go. Well, awesome. I'm glad you had a good time, and thank you, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Definitely. And thank you, our listeners out there. Again, you can follow us on YouTube. And we're all over Apple and Spotify and iHeart and all those kind of things. And if you need any help out there with your lean operations management, give us a call and contact us at leanrevisions.com. And thank you for listening. Take care, you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Welcome to KPI Fire, strategy execution software. Align strategy, drive execution, engage people. Here's how it works. First, you create a dashboard of strategic goals and the key metrics that demonstrate success. Then projects are created that cascade under those strategic goals. The progress of those projects and the movement of their metrics roll up into the strategic goals they belong to. With KPI Fire, your strategic progress becomes tangible, measurable, and at your fingertips. KPI Fire also allows you to capture your employees' best ideas for continuous improvement and reward those contributions. From top to bottom, your organization can clearly see strategy, and everyone feels that they have a say and a stake in the success of that strategy. It means that management can clearly prove hard and soft savings, and that they aren't wasting time rolling up reports. And it means that every employee can have simple, real-time visibility on projects and strategy progress. And what that translates to is alignment, strategy becoming reality, and igniting success. KPI Fire is a simple, intuitive interface. It's the right tool for any improvement approach and any size team. And it's easy. It requires no download or IT support, and is at your fingertips on any device. Instant visibility to your business. Align strategy, drive execution, engage people.
For more information on today's show or to become a sponsor, visit leanrevisions.com. Join the virtual studio audience by emailing podcast@leanrevisions.com for tickets. Follow us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and X. This podcast is hosted by Jeff Gray, produced and edited by Make Your Day Richer.